everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with lonely old me, Ms. Belinda Scandal. We've got a jam-packed show for you today, so I'm going to give you a little tease of to what is to come. Don't say I don't treat you. Trick or treat, eh? Day before Halloween. Now, we're going to be talking about Matthew Bourne's gorgeous reinvention of Swan Lake. I say gorgeous because it involves some lovely, gorgeous, talented, gorgeous, incredible, gorgeous men. It's quite gorgeous. We'll be coming to you soon from the Lowry as well, which is now just called Lowry in celebration of 25 years of the theatre. We'll be interviewing the celebrity audience at the Dolly Parton musical Here You Come Again, which features music by Dolly Parton and of course features that song I Will Always Love You, made famous by the one, the only Miss Whitney Houston, who these days I only seem to listen to when I'm in the bath. Now, moving on, we'll be speaking to Mock the Week comedian Robin Morgan about his biggest tour to date, The Spark, which is all about trying to keep the spark of both marriage and yourself alive. To be on Mock the Week, of course, you need to be quick-witted, fast, and make people laugh, one of which comes very easily to me, flowers. And tonight, to finish our show, we are going to be having a good old chinwag with Manchester Theatrical, talking about their upcoming theatre shows. It's exciting. This is how your show's looking. Theatre, because we love the theatre and there's so much going on in Manchester. We had to get in Manchester Theatrical. Welcome to the show. Introduce yourselves.
Hello. Hi, I'm Donny from Manchester Theatrical.
And I'm Nick, his better half, obviously.
Well,
yeah.
Now, Manchester Theatrical, you've kind of garnered this name for bringing out wonderful reviews and insights into the world of theatre within Manchester. Where did it begin for you?
Kind of began with you, didn't it? Starting up a Facebook
Yeah,
group.
my background's set design, so I've always been interested in theatre from a very wee age. And I just started writing my reviews online, and the big theatres got in touch out of the blue and were like, because you're doing this anyway, do you fancy kind of doing it regularly for us? And see, they kind of were like, are you on Twitter? And I was like, we're not on Twitter actually at the minute. This was like 8 years ago, and they said, right, get 1,000 followers in a month. If you get 1,000 followers on Twitter, we'll go from there. And a friend of a friend was working with Michael Ball, and Michael Ball tweeted that week, go online and follow Manchester Theatrical for all things Manchester Theatrical, and we got 1,000 followers in like 2 days.
That's
so
amazing.
I got back in touch with our friend Alison at the theatre at the time, wasn't it? At the Palace in the Opera House, and she was like, "How have you got 1,000 in like 2 days?" I was like, "I can't tell you, like it's top secret." But she was impressed. So
it's been going up and up ever since, hasn't it? I've got about 6,000 now.
That's
6,000.
amazing.
Yeah,
When you come
really
to
well.
reviewing a show, are you these type? Because there's a little clique of us, isn't there? Really,
Yes,
doing reviews
yes.
of the shows. Are you like me? You just like to be honest, or are you always like polite?
Politely honest.
I see.
Politely honest. There's a skill to our thing, so we'll give like a 5, a 4, a 3 star. If it's below a 2 star, we just don't star it. And I think that's kind of... But I think you've got to be honest to the point, though, haven't you? Because theatres cost a lot these days.
They do.
And
we always have it in our mind that people are paying good money for these things, and we won't say it's amazing if it's not.
If it's not, because if you're going to be paying all that money and then people aren't going to trust you in the future.
I went through a phase where I was there's a lot of shows that were in town that were just pathetic, really. So I kind of was being polite, and I thought, this is just, what's the point?
It's getting silly.
It's getting silly. So listen, there's so much going on in Manchester at the moment, and you guys are mostly doing your research to tell us what's coming.
A little bit.
Now, we must say, we're not going to touch on Panto today, because that's coming to you very, very soon. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, no, it's not. But listen, what's your top pick for coming our way soon?
Well, can I just say, your beauty really is beyond compare, with your flaming locks of auburn hair and eyes of emerald green, which reminds me of the new Dolly Parton-inspired musical coming to Larry
Donny
this
Parton.
week. Donny, well, we can call it Donny if you like.
Well, yes.
Here you come again.
Yes.
So it's about, I think have you had the woman Dolly on just recently, and she looks amazing. I can't wait to hear her voice. So it's about a guy called Kevin, and he has this fantasy kind of fairy godmother, Dolly Parton, who kind of helps him through all the trials and tribulations of everything. It's got a massive of, all of Donny's big hits. 9 to 5, Islands in the Stream, all of those big hits. So we're definitely going to be grabbing our double denim and our rhinestones and be getting in there. So until Saturday this week, that one.
That's amazing.
That was cool. We'll got that tomorrow, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend a bit of a curveball here. So it's from Jim Cartwright, who was behind Little Voice. Do you remember that years ago? So I've had a little top tip from a friend of mine. He does like acting classes in Salford every weekend, and a friend of mine goes along to them. And she's told me about his latest production, which is called Hotel, and it's playing at where's it playing at? The Empty Space Theatre in Media City, which we've not been to. Is it nice?
I've not been there. Yeah.
It's, how do we describe it? It's like a very posh Hope Mill.
Is it?
Oh, that sounds up our street.
Yeah,
that.
We need to check it out, don't we?
Yeah.
So he's like famed for Little Voice, and he did The Gap this year.
Denise Walsh.
With Denise and Matthew Kelly. It's only on for 3 nights, and he's using local actors for this one. So I think it's like a bit of a trial to kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's from the 19th to 21st November, and the tickets are all £15. How many seats do you reckon that's like? Is it a bit bigger than Hope Mill?
A little bit bigger.
A bit bigger, maybe like 200 or something. So
like
people
that,
need to get in there quick. So that's like a top tip for that in November. So yeah, the Hotel, all about the ins and outs. It sounds a bit like a modern like upstairs, downstairs, and all the ins and comings and goings.
Oh, I like that.
So that's
I'll give
my
that
top
one a
tip
go.
for
We're
November.
going to also the Palace is going to Chicago, 1920s. Come on, let's take it there. I know it's a classic. Everyone loves it, don't they? Everyone loves it. A bit of Bob Fosse, 9678.
And there's so many gorgeous characters in there as well.
Faye Brooks is going to be in it. She's
Brooks.
playing the lovely Faye Brooks
And
from
Lee Davis as well, playing Mary Sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be bloody amazing.
We were lucky this year. We try and go to Broadway. Just drop that. Every now and again we go to Broadway.
Yeah.
So this year we did 7 shows in 8 days or something, didn't we? We got to see Cats, the Jellicle Ball and stuff. But we went to see.
How is that?
Oh my god!
Spectacular when you watch it on
Amazing.
YouTube.
So good.
Amazing.
I'm not a massive fan of the original, to
Right.
be honest.
It makes it have a real story. Whereas the old Cats, I mean, I love the story, but this one, it's about all the different drag houses.
Yes.
And each of those has those stories.
Right.
So it just felt... Grisabella is like an older kind of drag queen that's kind of gone through it all, lost the glamour. So you just feel that
It
story.
gives the whole
It's
thing a
just something
context in that drag world, and it's
thought that was
amazing.
so clever.
I fancy thinking of putting it to that context, though.
We were
so clever.
Actual goosebumps. So if we got that on camera, actual goosebumps. It's not cold in here.
chill here.
It's not chilly at all. They're actual goosebumps from that show. But no, it's they're talking about it coming over here potentially.
What's his name? Who was the guy that was in it? Can't remember his name, but the main
Shields.
lead, De Shields.
Yep.
He was at London Musical Com last weekend, and there was whispers that he was bringing it to London, that Andrew's going to work for it to London. But then I also heard that it might be coming to Factory International. I don't know if that's going to happen, if that's a real thing, but that would be the perfect venue.
It would be.
Yeah.
The first night we went, we were kind of at the side of the stage on like little tables, weren't we? So a bit kind of like cabaret, and then we didn't have anything on the day after, so we booked again to see it. So we saw it twice in 2 days. It was pretty cool. But no, highly recommend that.
We've got Moulin Rouge as well. So that's coming next year.
Next year?
But tickets are going on sale the 5th of November. But if you go onto the... I know, they're going to fly out.
Everybody's Christmas presents.
Yeah. Done. But if you go onto the website, so it's the 7th of November, general sale. But if you go onto the Moulin Rouge musical website, you can get pre-sale tickets. Just register. So I think that's going to be... We saw, again, Broadway a while ago and in
We thought
London.
it's not going to come to the UK for years, so we went to Broadway and we saw that, didn't we?
And it's going to be at the Palace, which is already, ornately gold and red, isn't it? Exactly.
When Battle of Hell came here, turned the entire theatre into something... wasn't the Opera House at all by the end of it, was it?
No, it was cool.
Yeah.
But no,
beautiful.
Moulin Rouge is like off the scale, isn't it? I know Boy
your
George
tickets if you
played
can.
Ziedler. Get your tickets if you can.
Yeah.
I
got that
your
one in
line.
there. I like
There's your
that.
line.
Get on it.
I've got a tip for next year.
Yes.
So, I mean, like say Christmas is coming up and stuff. So we went to a launch recently with... Don't take any offence. We'll say she's our second favourite presenter, just because. But J to the P, Jenny Powell.
Oh, that's all right.
Jenny Powell.
I can let that one stay.
She's gone.
Wheel of Fortune fame.
Wheel of Fortune. So she told us who the headlines are going to be for the Ashley Hall Showground, the Britfest. So this year had their inaugural festival.
Yes.
And it's starting to win awards
so
already,
well.
and it's sold out.
Well.
So for next year, I know tickets have gone on sale this week. The first phase is already sold out. It's a second phase already. It's a proper 80s kind of vibe for next year. Sanita's just been announced.
Yeah.
Who else?
Cheesney Hawks.
Cheesney Hawks.
Cheesney Hawks.
I think that's a little slip
They'll be on there.
Cheesney Hawks. And headliners, you've got UB40, 10cc and Razorlight with The Fizz. I'm excited for The Fizz, to be honest.
We had one of them on the show a few weeks ago.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
And she was lovely. It's not Cheryl Baker, it's the other one.
I love her.
Fancy calling somebody the other one. That's because you mentioned me.
Blonde, face legs here.
They've got new boys as well, haven't they? They've got new boys in the band.
They've got new boys, but they needed to.
Well, yeah, they did.
One of them had to go.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So yeah, Jenny told us all about that. There's day tickets from £58, and it's the 4th, 5th, 6th of July. I've had to write it down.
That's a lovely event, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like you can do the full day and night there, can't you?
Yeah, and you can stay over.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, because we often go to like Kendall Calling, don't we, every year or two. But that event there, because it's such a new event, they're trying to be a bit different to the rest. So they've got like sauna cabins for like the posh glamping bit, saunas and plunge pools and hot tubs, and then they've got like barrels of freezing cold water to jump in and kind of like chill and
It's
relax.
like a spa weekend.
Not my idea of fun jumping in a barrel, but people will love it, I'm sure.
Depends what the weather is, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, early July.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
I think
4th, 5th, and 6th, isn't it?
4th, 5th, 6th of July at Ashley Hall Showground, Altrincham, so not too far out the city, but it's done like mega well this year. I just think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Back.
Now we are going to be treated this year because not only will we be able to watch it in a cinema, we will have the live show actually at our very own theatre. Of course, I'm referring to Wicked, and
Manchester's going green, isn't it?
It's going very green.
Yeah,
It's quite pink in here at the minute, though. I know.
Well, we've got a little bit on that. So it's Laura Pick. She's going to be playing Alphaba. She played the part down in London's West End at the Apollo, and also Sarah O'Connor. She's playing Glinda.
Yes.
What's her song?
Popular.
Popular.
Practical. That could be a new one.
I did see it in Liverpool's Empire early on in the year, and she is brilliant in the part.
You've got to have the pipes for that role.
Oh God, yeah. It's like it's one of those musicals that people keep going back to. They see it again and again and again. It's one that you need to see at least once, isn't it?
I don't want to drop any names or anything, but one night we met Elaine Page.
Did you?
And there was a super fan with us.
It's the second time tonight.
I'm sorry. I know.
Go on, pick him up.
I'm my shoulder in. And there was a young girl with us one. Elaine Page said, "What's your favourite musical?" to this girl, and she said, "Oh, I've seen Wicked like 36 times." And Elaine Page went, "There's plenty of other shows out there, darling." She was hilarious. She was so funny, wasn't she? But it's a definite staple, isn't it? It's a lot of early entry into musical theatre. I think Wicked, people grew up seeing the original film, which is getting on for.
It's up there. It's up there with all the greats and Defying Gravity.
And
the sets and the costumes are like out of this world.
I don't know how they tour with these things.
No,
but it's one of those. It's the story of. It's the Witch's story. Wicked Witch is the West story. Rather, I mean, we're all friends of Dorothy's here, aren't we, girls?
Oh yes.
And we all know her story. So this is more the Wicked Witch's side of things. Yeah. So it's a really, really clever story.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah. So what we're saying is there is plenty going on.
Absolutely.
It's non-stop.
Non-stop indeed. But as you mentioned right at the very start, Here You Come Again is, of course, at the Lowry this week. And we were lucky enough to be at the press night. And this is how it went.
Well, it's all about Dolly tonight, everybody. Literally all about Dolly Parton. A fabulous musical based on her music with stories that is bound to capture the heart and have lots and lots of fun in it. Is here at Lowry. I'm going to get used to that. It's here. It's going to be fantastic. Here you go again.
Rosy white loaf, that spread.
I will learn it.
You look very Dolly-ish.
Thank you. So I'll try. You could be Dolly.
Well,
couldn't you?
Smaller version, do you think?
That's your perfect height.
I haven't got the breasts.
Well, they're easily sourced on eBay these days.
Trust me. Oh, yes, they are.
So what do we know about Dolly Parton? What's your favourite thing about Dolly?
My favourite thing about Dolly is a personality and music and just everything about her. I've always been a massive Dolly Parton fan. Yeah. Always, yeah.
So if you were looking for something to put in a Dolly Parton stylish musical, what would you say would be important key ingredients?
Fun. Excitement.
Right.
Definitely costumes.
Yeah,
wigs. False eyelashes.
Keep describing the musical, not me.
Oh, here you come again.
I can't remember
That's my fave. Oh, love it.
Jolene.
And love is like a butterfly, as soft and gentle as it. That was her. That was a Dolly.
Gets cap. And it literally couldn't get camper here on the red carpet, on the pink carpet. Have we actually seen the carpet yet, everybody? It's a pink carpet. It's quite amazing. And loads and loads of Corrie here. We're just going to let them have a quick picture, first of all, with the paparazzi. Look at this. Look at the butchness. Look at the butchness in these two, everybody. Until they do it. Hey, what do you know about Dolly Parton? What's your favourite thing?
COVID vaccine.
The what?
COVID vaccine.
COVID vaccine?
Yeah, she made her own COVID vaccine. Not herself, but like...
So what's your favourite song for Dolly Parton then? What's your
It's
favourite?
got to be Jolene.
Jolene.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because what's happened to the light? We've gone purple. Oh, sorry. All right. What's your favourite thing about Jolene? Why Jolene?
It's just a great song.
What's your go-to Dolly song?
Oh, I like Coat of Many Colours.
Do you? I thought that was a musical.
Or Tennessee Hometown Blues.
Oh no, I know that one. I like that one. That's a very good one.
What's your favourite?
9 to 5. 9 to 5. That's what I couldn't think of it. I always get it wrong because there's another song called From 5 to 9. No, 9 to 5. Anyway, so there we are. Lovely. Now, what's this all about tonight, please? What have we been dragged upon to?
You've been dragged down to see Here You Come Again, the Dolly Parton musical.
Right. And what is in it? Because we spoke to Dolly, the person who's playing Dolly. She was outside 10 minutes ago. Not even in makeup or nothing.
Oh wow!
And I was shocked.
That's a quick change.
Isn't it? I thought that. So you got approached to do this?
Yes, it was a successful show in America, and
Right.
they were looking for a British writer to adapt it for a British audience. So I read the script and I loved it, and I saw a video of Trisha playing Dolly, and she's just fantastic. So
Good, isn't she?
I couldn't say no, really. And I had a few ideas about the story to try and make it better, and the American writers were really receptive to that, so I jumped on board. So it's about a gay man who's lost his boyfriend, lost his job in the pandemic. He goes back to his mum and dad's house, hides away in the attic, fed up. And Dolly Parton steps out of one of his posters and cheers him up with her back catalogue.
I mean,
and
that's
then
gonna
when
cheer
he's cheered up, she buggers off.
She buggers off
a bit
again.
like Mary Poppins.
I like it.
Yeah,
Dolly
it's
Parton as
lovely.
Mary
Yeah.
Poppins. And we are now joined by the one only Paddy Beaver. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Are you familiar with the music of Dolly Parton?
I am.
Which is your favourite?
Jolene.
Really? Why?
Because I think that it can be sung in a manner of different ways. I heard someone once do a cover of it, because I love Dolly's version, of course. And then I heard Miley Cyrus do a cover of it, who's of course her goddaughter, which is really good.
Well, you do know Dolly's stuff,
Yeah.
don't you? I'm impressed.
And then I heard another one on YouTube, which was really acoustic and kind of stripped back, and I love that too.
Oh.
It was a bit menacing. It was lovely.
And what do you know about this musical tonight then? It's got apparently a story full of heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. And that, it will be a thrill.
It will be a thrill.
Yeah,
Are
absolutely.
you going to be dancing at the end?
Of course.
You're
Who
gonna be
isn't?
having a boogie?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Are you?
Well, possibly, yeah. Should we have a boogie together?
Absolutely.
Right, well, all the celebrities here. I don't know if you can see, but just behind my shoulder, Queen Camilla and King Charles are here, everybody. There they are, walking past.
Now that's a
She
good
turned that
song.
into something absolutely fantastic and phenomenal.
Yeah.
Is there any song that you particularly sing of Dolly's when you're perhaps on your own, maybe in the shower, maybe chilling out?
Probably Jolene again.
Jolene, it's all about Jolene.
Oh, a 9 to 5.
9 to 5, you can't go wrong with it, can you? That's the way forward, that 9 to 5. You know.
It is,
really
absolutely.
So a musical filled with Dolly Parton, do you think it's going to be good?
It's written by Jonathan Harvey. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
So many people are saying that.
I know.
Almost above and beyond the music of Dolly Parton.
I love Jonathan's musicals. They're just so good. And he just really knows how to write for an audience, because everybody who sees his productions just loves them.
Yes. Here we are then, with our lovely Jane, everybody. Now, Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Not a lot really. I know a bit about Tennessee.
Yes.
I know Working 9 to 5.
Yes.
I know I Will Always Love You. And she's pretty bloody marvellous really, isn't she? She's an extraordinary woman.
Do you have a secret song of Dolly's that perhaps you sing when you're perhaps on your own, maybe?
No, not
No.
really. I just think she's fabulous.
She is
Everything
fabulous.
about her, just the way she looks, those talent, and the fact she's been married for like forever as well, hasn't she?
To the same person?
I know.
That's shocking.
I know.
In this profession, isn't
Isn't
it?
it? Isn't it? But
You're looking
she's
very
marvellous.
glamorous. How are you finding life now as proper proper Corrie now, aren't you?
Apparently.
Proper
So they
Corrie,
say that's
yeah.
your fault for that
Yeah.
interview you did the other week. That's you, that is.
Proper Corrie, I've been telling
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
now.
yeah.
You've cemented yourself in there.
Well, I've tried, you know. I just say the words, darling,
I
and
know,
the
but
good
you-
words,
you
so
do
it's
them
nice
well,
to
don't
say.
you?
Well,
You do
bless
them
you.
very
That's very
real.
kind of you. That's
And
very
you do them
kind
very
of you.
proper. You don't like compliments, do you?
No,
though?
you know,
I
you
know.
know.
It's terrible, isn't it? But
Yeah.
you do wonders. Well, let's find out what people thought of that wonderful show. Let's grab some people now. Did you enjoy yourself tonight?
Oh yeah.
Did you have a favourite bit of tonight's show?
Well, anything Dolly's good with us.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Was she a convincing Dolly for you?
Completely. I thought it was the real Dolly.
Yeah. If you have to give it 5 stars, what would you give it?
6.
6 stars. Love it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Come on, follow me. This is all so exciting now. You all right, love? Right, let's ask people. So there we go. So did you enjoy that tonight?
It was lovely. It was so emotional for me, but it
Really?
was lovely.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch what I'm about to do here now. So you've watched that show tonight?
Yeah.
And it had the wonderful writing of Jonathan Harvey in it. Would you say it was worthwhile?
I want to go again.
There we go. If you had to give it a score out of 5, what would you give it?
I'd give it 10 out of 5.
That's lovely. Let's just ask this gentleman here. Can I just ask you, after watching, because this will come across really good. Hold on. If you had to score tonight's show, Jonathan, out of 5, what would you give it, please?
23.
Would you now?
Yeah.
And what do you reckon to the writing of Jonathan Harvey, please?
I've heard he's really fit.
He is.
Yeah.
He
so
is.
yeah, I thought it was good.
It was good.
Could be a bit better in places.
Oh, really? There we are. There's the scoop, everybody. And the gentleman we didn't get before, come on in, Mr. Cotton. How are you? Oh, glasses are off. He means business.
I don't, the reflection of that flipping light.
Sponsored by Chernobyl.
There you go.
Lovely.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
what did you think of tonight's show?
Well, I was sat with the writer. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It was joyful, and I thought she was tremendous. And Stevie, I mean, it's massive for the two actors. And to think that there's only, you know, half a dozen musicians on the stage. It was so full. The sound was so full and brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic.
Did you have a favourite bit of tonight's show?
Yeah.
Which bit? Which was your favourite bit?
Oh, the very beginning when they did all that movement.
Oh, it was clever once.
Very, very good.
Are you a fan of Dolly Parton?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What is it about Dolly Parton's music?
I
that
like
you
her line dance.
You like the
do
line
a lot
dance?
of line
Can you
dance.
do
Yeah.
Can you do a bit? Should we do a bit now? Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, banana. There we are. We've done a full-on grapevine there. What's your name, my darling?
Margaret.
Let's have a cuddle, Margaret. Come on, there we go. We love Margaret, everybody. Well, we've just been to see a fantastic musical that's literally just finished. It was absolutely sensational. At the beginning, it might have come across perhaps a little bit cliche. This guy is having a bit of a problem. Dolly Parton appears. We've kind of seen this story before. But what they've done here is bring together a fantastic collection of songs with fantastic artists and actors playing these parts, and they've delivered one fantastic night. I never actually realised just how popular Dolly Parton's songs and music were. They've been proven to be wonderful again here tonight at Laura. It's fantastic. If you do get the opportunity to see this show wherever you are in the country, book those tickets. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. We at Your Manchester are giving this 4.5 stars. I thank you.
Now, up next, we'll be speaking to Jackson Fish, who stars in Matthew Bourne's 5-star rule-breaking reinvention of Swan Lake. Premiering over 30 years ago, Bourne's Swan Lake has become one of the most successful dance theatre productions of all time and is best known for replacing the female cop double A with a menacing male ensemble. Now we're joined by Jackson, who's here to tell us all about it. Welcome, Jackson. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I believe you're on your last set of rehearsals at the moment.
Yes, we're in our final week. We're just finishing up the show before we head off to Plymouth to tech before we come to Manchester.
And how's it all looking? Is it looking as fabulous as these shows by Matthew Bourne tend to look?
Of course it is. It's looking absolutely incredible. It's a spectacle of a show, and it's quite exciting seeing it all come together, and it's going to be even more exciting to get it in front of an audience.
Now, I always ask this, but I suppose it's a difficult question to ask. What is the story of Swan Lake?
I mean, historically, there are a lot of versions of Swan Lake now. Matthew's version sort of takes a modern twist on it. Obviously, quite famously, the Swans are represented as male characters, which is probably our biggest twist to the story. But then it also comes in Act 3, where instead of the Black Swan, we have a character called the Stranger, and he sort of enters the ballroom and shakes things up quite a bit. He's this rather sensual and rebel of a character. So that we have instead of a Black Swan.
And I suppose for yourself being involved in this production, particularly the Matthew Bourne production of Swan Lake, this must feel like a very big pat on the back, because notoriously it's difficult to get in within this company.
It's I mean, every day I come into the studio and I'm doing something so iconic to the dance world and so important to a lot of people who have seen the show and who have wanted to be involved in the show. So it's a pinch me moment every single day to be able to be in this production and particularly in this role with all this incredible cast.
Now, of course, ballet is a very difficult, I'd say, a career to get into as well. But I mean, why for you ballet?
I mean, I guess I fell into it when I was quite young. My parents didn't want to take us to Sunday sports because they wanted their day off, which is absolutely fair. So instead, to do something physical as a kid, me and my siblings went to dance lessons after school during the week. And so I started when I was 4 years old. And when I was 10, my teacher at the time suggested that I audition for the Australian Ballet School, which I did, and I got in. I was very lucky. From there, I trained for 8 years and then auditioned for New Adventures and, you know, very luckily got a job straight out of school with Matt and the company. So it was a very gradual progression for me. It just sort of happened when I was young and I kept going through it.
And a lot of people say that ballet is not a masculine genre of dance to do, but in fact, what would you say to them, anybody that's thinking about, you know, going through the rigorous hours and the pain that there is involved within ballet?
I mean, it hurts, it's painful, but the reward is tenfold. Getting to the end of particularly this show and feeling the appreciation from the audience, it's worth every, you know, muscle ache and every late night and all the rehearsals that we put ourselves through. It's just so incredibly rewarding.
So from when you started first entering into the world of ballet to where you are now, how many years has that been?
Oh, I started when I was 4 years old, and I am now nearly 27. I'm a dancer, not really into math. Someone else can do that.
Definitely. So who are you playing in this then?
I have the great pleasure of playing the Swan Stranger, who is sort of the leader of the Swan pack. And then, like I said, this really interesting feral character that sort of mixes up in Act 3. But I also play an ensemble role, which is Swan number 10 and the French escort. So all of our principals in the company play a second ensemble role as well to stay within the company and to kind of, you know, embody the spirit of the show.
Now, I think I saw this a few years ago, and I think I was exhausted watching it just within the first 10 minutes. You guys work so physically hard, don't you? What's the biggest challenge for you within this show?
In this show in particular is Act 2. So Act 2 is our first Swan act, and it's notoriously difficult particularly for the Swan. There's been many stories we were told before we began rehearsals that, you know, dancers couldn't get through it the first few times they ran Act 2. So physically, and, you know, for our cardio, that's absolutely, and also the hardest thing I've ever done in my career to date, and hopefully will ever do. I don't know if I could level up from this. It's an absolute marathon.
Why has Swan Lake stood the test of time?
I think certainly the music has stood the test of time. I think we always tell stories, and a lot of stories have a lot of similar themes and ideas of love and relationships and, you know, torment. And I think what keeps Swan Lake particularly alive is the music. And then take Matt's version, which reimagines that music and puts it in a modern setting, I think that has really given it new life and a very modern and current meaning, which for all ballet, I think helps a new generation of audiences connect with it.
Now, this is coming to the Lowry. We're very excited. Just before we let you go, for those people that are watching this, these young people that may be watching this program that are thinking about entering into the world of dance and indeed ballet, what would you say to them to kind of inspire them to, yes, choose that as their career?
Oh gosh, I mean, if it lights your fire, if it feels right, just keep working at it, keep discovering, keep exploring, keep playful with it. It's too hard to not enjoy, so really make sure that you're loving it and loving every moment, even the hard times. I think it's such a fun job. It's such a silly job. We get to put wigs and makeup on, much like, other people in other careers. And I think you'd agree, unless you're enjoying it and unless you find that spark in it, that's what takes you through day to day.
It sounds fantastic. Right, we're looking forward to this. I think we'll be there for this one. It's kind of Matthew Bourne's shows have kind of taken over what we kind of envisioned of dance. The only thing that I've seen recently that can come anywhere near to it is Ballet Rambert's version of Peaky Blinders. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't had the pleasure of it.
My goodness me, it's quite amazing, really, really. And that's coming to us at the Lowry on the 19th to the 30th. So we are excited about that. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Jackson. Thank you very much. And joining us now is the one and only Robin Morgan. Welcome to the show, Robin. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good. This is set to be quite exciting. I mean, you've done Mock the Week. You've done quite a lot, to be fair. And you're getting very, very funny person, I have to say. A very, very funny person.
Bless you. That's very, very kind. Thank you.
Where does it all come from? I'm always interested to know where comedians get their inspiration, why they want to be so funny.
I don't know. I think I mainly talk about sort of my life, my family, my friends, my kids, all that kind of stuff. I think I've got on my phone, I've got a big list of notes that I can basically sort of write down anything that's funny happened or anything I think, I'll pop in there. And then when I do a sort of new material gig, I'll essentially kind of write those down onto bullet points and just start speaking now. I think I've been doing it long enough now that I kind of write on stage. But where it comes from and why I do it, probably a defense mechanism, probably that.
But there's quite a lot of subjects that you've already covered in there. I mean, my two favourite that you've covered so far, I should say, is of course divorce and that very familiar one known as vasectomy. I mean, brave to talk about these things.
I'm just a very brave boy. That's essentially it. Yeah. So I think, the vasectomy show is very, very fun. It's been really fun to sort of talk about that on stage. And it's amazing how many men have had them done, but might not have talked about it. So it's been fun to sort of ask people in an audience. They might go sort of timidly like that, but then you discover 20 or 30 blokes in the room. I feel like I'm doing a public service. I feel like the NHS should pay me.
What do you think is important that comedians should speak, especially male comedians, should speak about male issues? There's always, the ladies seem to be able to talk about menopause whenever they want to, but the men, there's certain issues that, they don't want to talk about. Do you feel you're bridging a gap by talking about them?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think I went into it with trying to be so sort of powerful with that, I suppose. But I think it is a typical male thing of maybe a previous generation is sort of like pushing stuff down. And I think that that comedy is a really brilliant way of talking about stuff because it kind of tricks you into talking about quite important topics without it being welcome to this very sincere talk about male physical and mental health. But yeah, I think I've always enjoyed talking about stuff like that, and I think I can get away with stuff because I'm quite sort of affable and cheeky on stage. I can kind of be a bit pointed and get away with it, kill them with kindness, I think.
And is there any subjects that you've thought, right, I'm going to start writing about this now, and then go, whoa, actually I should just stay away from this?
You know what, I don't know if there's any sort of topics, but certainly with certain jokes you kind of like a new joke I'll say, I'm like, oh no, I haven't articulated it well enough to the audience that it's not working, or it makes people feel tense immediately. So in the show that I'm doing at the moment, I talk about I've given up booze, and I think but the first time that I was talking about that, you felt audiences go like, oh, is this going to be like a really sort of bleak story now? But I've started addressing that because basically the first joke, I say I'm sober now, and then it basically gets nothing. And then I'm like, what a beautiful British reaction where collectively you've all just gone, why have you done that? Like, so I think it's quite fun, and I suppose the longer I've been doing this, the more sort of confident and comfortable I am on stage to talk about issues, I suppose.
It's fabulous. We've got, like you say, you're doing this show at the moment, and what kind of topics are in there that you're kind of keen on talking about?
So I feel like this is my 5th solo show, and people have been sort of coming to each of them, which is like mind-blowing. Like I've not got a huge amount of profile, and I think that people, when they see me do like a club set, and then they'll come and see me on tour, so I feel like it's a really organic reach that is happening, which is really lovely. So previous shows have been about getting engaged, getting married, having kids, having a vasectomy, and it feels like people just want to kind of hear what the next step is. So I've been married 6 years now. Loads of my friends have been married a year longer than us, and they've all started talking about the 7-year itch and like whether the spark's still there and things. So the show's called The Spark. So basically it's about kind of relationships, how to sort of like look after that, how to look after yourself within a relationship as we're sort of approaching this sort of quite bleak mid-30s era.
And do you think you've managed to find the secret ingredients of that?
I think so, yeah, and I'll tell everyone about it if they buy tickets to the show.
This is coming to the lovely Lowry studio on the 17th of November. Manchester, have you been around Manchester quite a lot?
Yeah, I supported my good friend Stephen Bailey at the Lowry a few years ago.
He's butch.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's a proper hard man. So that was a delight supporting him there. But I've done the Frog and Bucket, brilliant comedy club. I love it around there. It's great.
It's fabulous. Well, we're looking forward to this one. Make sure you get tickets, everybody. Available on the Lowry's website, 17th of November. For now, though, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week's show, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. On next week's show, we're going to be speaking to Stephen Stockton from Real Groove Records. Try saying that. And also Dick and Angel Strawbridge from Dick and Angel's Forever Home. They're going to be with us as well. We've got a fabulous load on the podcast for you as well. So check out that load, everybody, on the podcast. Till then, thanks very much for watching this week's episode of Your Magata!